Welcome back, you beautiful souls. This is going to be the return of my breakout series. The series that started my channel, my favorite series that I've done on my channel. This is a series that I literally worked on for an entire year before I even posted my first video. That and since it's been so long since I've done a video for this series, I'm going to do a brief recap of the series and a little bit explanation of the quirk. If you don't want anything spoiled, this is your warning to go back and watch the series. I'll put a link to the playlist in the description down below. So, spoilers in three, two, one, go. So, this series is about Izuku if he had a hybrid quirk. The quirk itself, when Izuku uses his quirk, it when he bonds with someone, when he does a permanent bond, it mutates his quirk and the other person's quirk based off of all that are bonded with Izuku. Now, in the last in the series leading up to this, where we last left off the series, Izuku was going to Sir Night Eye's agency. Now, the series started out with Izuku accidentally bonding with his mother. In the series, her her quirk evolved and got so much stronger after the events when an accident happened with Bakugo, that she later on became a hero and ended up sacrificing herself to literally stop an atomic bomb going off in the middle of a city. She basically she basically held this out so people could get like, and she started to falter, like she knew she couldn't hold it in, but she knew there was one way that she could stop the blast in its entirety, by basically walking into her force field and condensing it down and basically using her body to absorb all of the radiation and the damage. Basically, on the newscast that happened, people could see, like, well, it was cut for obvious reasons, but people that were there literally just saw her walk into this thing, and the force field collapsed down into her body, created a mini explosion, and a crater happened. And then they just see like Inko like standing there with like her hands up, like kind of where it looked, as her body literally just like disintegrated. This led into the Bakugos taking Izuku in because of other stuff that happened in the series where Hasashi wasn't part of his life. Years passed. Izuku and Katsuki eventually got into a specialized program that will persist even after Izuku and Katsuki leave UA. They were Izuku was basically chosen for this program, and he told them that he wants nothing to do with it if Katsuki can't be there with him, because of a promise that the two made to each other. In this, Izuku and Katsuki, they're brothers. Because later on the Bakugos later on did officially adopt Izuku. Katsuki's parents later on had a daughter and named Katsuri. So if you hear me say Siri-chan or Katsuri, it's reference to their little sister. And she's gotten to the age where like they've told her that Izuku was adopted. Like, she knows Izuku was adopted into the family, but that doesn't change her feelings towards Izuku. She looks up to both of her big brothers, and she absolutely loves both of them. So this led to a few things that happened in canon where Izuku basically, because of his mother's work in the life insurance policy that he got from the Yagorozu company, he basically they got an insurance money from that, and then combined with his mother, what his mother made and later on left to him, his mother basically bought 2% of the Yagorozu company. So in this, Izuku, he has money because of the investments that his mother made before she died, and also some of the investments that he's made since then, since his 15th birthday. So in the past year, he's been able to grow the finances because him and Katsuki do plan on opening up their own hero agency themselves. So Izuku is already starting to put forth the motions. He's basically gone into business with Melissa Shield for hero support tech. Basically, he's in the process of actually, he's going to eventually sell his, but because of a poll that was put out on Discord, because at the time I didn't have a community tab, so I couldn't do a poll on YouTube. I made a vote. I made a vote on Discord, and everyone voted for Izuku to actually have more than one girlfriend. This could lead into like later bits. In this, Izuku is now actually in the series is actually dating both Momo and Kendo. Now, if the relationship with Momo and Izuku progresses, which probably will, that he ends up marrying both of them, he will retain his stocks. But this is something he's beginning to start thinking about maybe not selling the stock, and it really wouldn't be a competitive thing. But he's still considering to basically sell off. He's still considering it, and he will eventually talk to Momo about this. Because in previous parts I mentioned that he has contracts, and he's basically funding Melissa Shield's research. Now, many of you be like, why didn't he get with Melissa? Well, because of the age that they were at when they first met, Izuku, like, Melissa has become more of like an older cousin or a big sister to both Katsuki and Bakugo. Basically, she's... a few times people will like mistake that she's either dating either of them just because of how close the three of them are, because they pretty much were the only kids at this facility that Izuku and Katsuki spent many years of their life at when they were younger before they got to UA. So Izuku, his quirk is, he's pretty broken now. So where we last left off, he got to the sports festival had happened. Izuku actually got an offer from Sir Night-Eye, and so did Katsuki, but Katsuki decided to end up going to Endeavor's agency. So we'll get into this. If you want a more in-depth about the difference, like how Izuku's quirk evolved, do go and watch the previous episode to kind of refresh your memory about that, because I did explain a lot of that in the previous video to this series. So that being said, let's get into our story. So Izuku, after the formalities with Sir Night-Eye, he basically like spends like the first couple of days like sparring with Mirio, one of the biggest three. They develop their friendship like they do in canon. Mirio is surprised about how strong Izuku is, and when he goes under, Izuku's actually able to counteract him coming up. And Izuku, he's really surprised. He's like, "Wow, Izuku, wow, Midoriya, you've gotten really strong." So this goes on for a couple of days, and then Sir Dai tells Mirio to take Izuku out on patrols. Now, I did think about this, and I do remember this about the interactions with Eri. Now, I during scripting this, I decided not to go down a certain route because it made me think about another what if that I've been planning, and that will be coming out before the within the next couple of months, and I didn't want to be the stories to be similar, so I want them to be a little bit different. So Izuku, they're on patrol. They stop a few villains. People are like, "Oh, it's Guardian, that's Guardian. He won the sports festival. It's Izuku Bakugo." And the people that are close to him, they know his mother. The people that really know him, like the people that are in the neighborhood that he lives in, knows who his mother is. So during this, they actually come across the scene where like this little girl, she's in rags, she has bandages and everything. And the whole thing with Eri does happen. But unlike in canon, Mirio literally goes to go gut check Izuku to knock him out, and Izuku just catches his fist, and he basically has Eri, he's like, he in his mind, he's like, "I want to rip this motherfucker apart. I can definitely take this dude. I don't care what the hell his quirk is." Because Eri, mind you, is about the same age as his little sister. So, like in canon, he wants to protect Eri, but it's more so ingrained in his mind. Because he sees his little sister and this girl somewhat. They're about the same age. And he calms himself down, and he basically without Mirio or anyone knowing, actually marks her. And he basically, his eyes, like I said in previous parts, are luminescence, and they don't really pick up the fact that his eyes actually started to glow a little bit brighter. He basically marks her, and he lets her go. He basically yells out after they get away, and Mary, the whole fallout when they get to the agency, Sir Night-Eye is just astounded at Izuku that he showed so much self-control. And a conversation after Mirio and Bubble Girl leave, he basically walks up to Izuku and he puts his hand on Izuku's shoulder, and he basically says, "Midoriya, I know how tough that is, and did you at least mark her?" And Izuku looks up at Sir Night-Eye, and he's like, how did you know?" And Sir Night-Eye basically then bops him on the head. It's like, how many years have I known you and all the training we went through? I know you can track people once you've marked them. Hell, you were able to find Bakugo underneath all that damn rubble you two created. You know how long it took us to repair that building? Yeah, Melissa, she basically beat us both up for destroying her her special room. But she's got it. But she did say she got a lot of good data out of it, and she'll make sure that Series 2 was a lot more tougher. And a bit later, she said the same thing about Series 3. And the third time we destroyed the room, she said, next time you guys go all out, I'm not fixing this damn thing. Which causes Serge to laugh a little bit. And he says, again, Midoriya, I'm sorry. Give us a few days and let me call in and we'll plan something to rescue her. So Izuku, over the next few days, he finishes out his work study with. He finishes out his work study. Yeah, that's right. I'm actually having this event happen a little bit sooner. Sorry about that. I was like, why do I have this? And then I totally didn't see the part where I said this event is happening sooner than canon. So sorry about getting tongue-tied in this. So yeah, the event with Eri is going to happen sooner than canon, but not as soon. So after the work study happens, Izuku and everyone arrives back at UA. They're talking about their work study, and Katsuki, the last few days of the work study, he was feeling off. He was something was going on with Izuku. And then when he gets to class, he sees Izuku smiling and everything, but then because he walks up to Izuku because they basically left where they were staying for their work study, because Bakugo was at the Todoroki's house, obviously, just so he can get more training in. And Shoto and him really became friends over that week, over the 10. I think it was 10 days. I believe it was 10 days. It was a 10-day work study. But so they became friends, and he walks up to Izuku, and he basically leans in and whispers into his ear, it's like, bro, we'll talk on the way home today. You're acting like when Auntie passed. And Izuku just stares at him, and his eyes go wide. And Katsuki says, "Damn it, nerd! Don't give me that look. I know you better than everyone here." And Ochako kind of overhears this, and she asks Katsuki "What's wrong with Izuku?" And then Katsuki says, "Nothing. Family stuff. I'll talk to you about it later if I can." So the day progresses, and Izuku he gets home. They start walking home. Momo and Kendo are with them, and so is Ochako. And they get to the train station, and they say their goodbyes. He gives Momo and Kendo a hug. Katsuki basically hugs Ochako and gives her a kiss and say, I'll talk to you later tonight. He looks over at Izuku, and she basically whispers into his ear, I know. If he doesn't want to talk about it, I'll get it. Because Kendo, Momo, and Ochako were feeling this, because if you remember, he bonded with them a couple of episodes before. previous episodes. He actually bonded with them. So, Izuku, he's... God, if I actually... Yeah, if I haven't done the sports festival, basically Izuku won that. And my apologies, I will do a 4.5. I'll double check my previous episodes. Because I lost the notebook that actually had all of this crap in it. So I had to rewatch the whole series in its entirety to actually see what I had done. Because I do know the general idea of how I want this series to go and what I want to happen in it. So my apologies if I missed something, if I miss it, but I'm fairly certain with what I did in the last episode. Because it took me a couple of days to took me like a couple of weeks to actually go over this because of other what ifs that I was doing and stuff that was going on IRL. So my apologies if I skipped the sports festival. I'm fairly certain I did. So sorry about that tangent. Let's get back to our story. So Akatsuki says, so the three of them have been feeling off, but they don't know why. So Izuku, after the girls get on their train, Akatsuki basically grabs Izuku and blasts off, and he basically goes to the beach. And he had texted his mom that they'll probably be late home and to apologize to Suri-chan for them. But Izuku, like, something happened with Izuku, and Izuku may need to blow off the steam, so they're going to be going to Shield Maiden's Beach. And that's where they'll be at. And Mitsuki did text Katsuki back. She's like, well, just make sure you two get home safely, okay? I trust you guys. So Izuku's like, Kacha, damn it, let go. And Katsuki's like, damn it, nerd. If you struggle too much, I'm gonna drop you. And even with your damn healing abilities, it'll still hurt your ass, and I promised Mom that we'd get home safe. Now just relax, we're going to the damn beach. So they get there, and Katsuki basically drops him off, and then he says, okay, now spill it. What the hell happened? Why the hell are you in such a mopey mood? All that smiling and laughter was bullshit. Something's on your mind, and it's bothering you. The three girls, they're probably feeling off because of you, and possibly All Might as well. I've known you the longest out of everyone, and I can tell this. This is the same way you acted when Auntie died. Izuku comes up and punches him in the face, and Katsuki just goes, pfft. And that just proves it. Now tell me, what's going on, bro? Like, we promised we wouldn't keep shit like this from each other. So Izuku, he begins to cry, and he's like, I had a little girl who was getting confused. She reminded me of Suri-chan, Katsuki. She's about the same age as Suri. I was, this whole time I've been thinking, just like, if that was Suri, and I knew she was going through that. It took everything in me, Kanchan. It took everything to not just grab her and run. As Izuku begins to, like, punch the ground, creating, like, small craters into, like, the ground in the sand. And Katsuki, he basically walks over to Izuku and he's like, figures. And Izuku's like, why would you say that? I didn't mean it like that, Izuku. It's just, I know. I get it now. I'm sorry, but we've gotta, you probably could have, I know, Kacha, it would have caused more damage. The guy had an unknown quirk. He could have caused more damage to the building. I could have gotten hurt. I could have gotten her killed. That's what stopped me. I thought this person had a dangerous quirk. If it was Katsuri, even though it kills me inside, I knew I couldn't save her in that moment. So what are they gonna do about it? Sir, he said they'll look into things and they'll ask me later for help. And Katsuki's like looking at him and he's like, is that why you marked her, didn't you? And Izuku's like, yeah, I did. I can tell, your eyes, they only glow that bright when you've marked people. Most people can't pick up the slight boost in luminosity, but I guess since we grew up together, I'd be the only one that would be able to catch that. Picks Izuku up and he grabs the knife out of Izuku's back as he picks it up, and he slices his hand on the scar that he has, and he slices Izuku's scar, and he's like, I know this won't do anything, but I promise, bro, when the time comes, you'll have me there by your side, and we'll take that damn bastard down. Like you, it's a damn good thing I wasn't there. I would have shot a fucking hole in the dude's chest. But I promise you, Izuku, we'll save her. When they give us the clear, we'll talk to Mom about it. Maybe, like, she can adopt her too. Maybe we can give her, like, a stable house, okay? And then Izuku, he literally breaks down and just embraces these, like, Katsuki. And Katsuki grabs him too and gives him, like, a hug. Then he pushes Izuku away and he pulls a scarf out of, like, his back pocket, wraps it around his hand, and then, like, Izuku, like, wipes his hand off, and, like, it begins to heal in front of, like, Katsuki's, like, eyes, and he's like, what the hell? God damn it, Izuku. Every single friggin' time I think I get ahead of you, you pull something crazy out. When were you able to do this? Yeah, it got a lot better. I'll explain it later. For now, let's get home. Suri-chan, she's probably pissed at us. Izuku, like, then Katsuki's like, yeah, well, we should probably stop and get something for her on the way home. And so, with that, you beautiful souls, that's going to be the end of this part. Like previous videos, I'm sorry this part is so short, but I'm really trying to keep my videos under 40 minutes at the max. Comment down below what you think of this part. Let me know any ideas or theories that you have about Eri. Like the video because it helps out with the algorithm, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I'm trying to hit 4K subs before the end of the year, and the moment we get 4K subs, I will release the video of the Immortal Deku, which is a series where Deku is immortal, and it's a series I think you beautiful souls will thoroughly enjoy. That being said, I will see you beautiful souls in the next video. Oh, I almost forgot. I just saw, like, a post-it note I have posted right in front of my face where I sit down to do these recordings. There's a poll that I put out about an hour. I think it's about an hour ago. I would actually have to look at the time that I did this. But it's a series that will come out towards the end of the year. I've already started a rough draft on the series. Be sure to vote in it. I've already mentioned it on Discord, but Izuku will be a late bloomer. He will have a quirk. I'm not going to say what the quirk is. It's something that you will be surprised about, but I noticed a lot of YouTubers were doing a quirk marriage, and I was like, hey, I've done something like this in the past where I know at least in one of the series, Izuku has an arranged marriage. I know that for a fact, at least one of my series, and I've touched on it. And I recently rewatched a series called Inborn Pair. It's a foreign drama. And with all these people doing quirk marriages, I was like, you know what? Let me really go back to that idea that I have that was an inspiration for that series and really focus on that aspect of the story and go to the community tab. You'll see it. I will let you beautiful girls. Wow, sorry about that. I will let you beautiful souls decide on the female that Izuku will have an arranged marriage with. And this is truly, I will see you beautiful souls in the next video.